What up with it, baby?
Hey, tell him what you told me.
What I tell you?
What you doing it for?
Oh, promotion, baby.
All right.
What
So
you
I
mean?
ain't gotta
But
him
hey,
up,
but we should spar.
I ain't gotta him up.
We should spar.
I want to show the world that I'm the best. After this fight, I want to be considered top 5 pound-for-pound fighter in the sport, and I can't wait to show it.
You said this week that you were in for a rude awakening when you get to 140. What do you think he's in for when he goes up against you?
I think he just don't realize how good I am. I think come fight night, he's going to realize that I'm going to take it to another level that he has never seen before. So if he's expecting the Lomachenko, the Josh Taylor fight to happen, it won't be that type of fight. Senior, tell him. We talking to Senior. We ain't talking to little dude over here. Senior.
Every fight is a different version of me.
I know.
And I love it because even the people out there don't know what they're going to get from me. And that's the beauty about it. He could be studying, he could be doing a lot of things, but he's not going to know till the day of the fight. So,
Terence Crawford has issued a firm caution to Teofimo Lopez, emphasizing that overlooking Shakur Stevenson would be a major miscalculation.
I'm gonna just say all of them. You know, it don't matter who they is. He ready for the big test and the big names, and he's going to do well with each and every one of them. And
Crawford pointed out that Shakur's sense of timing, precision, and ring intelligence make him a serious threat at the elite level. He noted that Shakur's defensive style is designed to lure opponents into mistakes, setting up sharp counter shots. According to Crawford, if Teofimo pushes a pace too aggressively or loses discipline, Shakur could capitalize and do real damage, possibly even stopping him. In a separate moment, Crawford addressed Teofimo Lopez face-to-face, creating a noticeably tense exchange. He challenged Teofimo's mentality and openly questioned how he was viewing Shakur Stevenson as an opponent. The interaction carried a serious, uneasy tone, with Crawford making it clear that underestimating Shakur's skill set to come back to haunt him once there in the ring.
Excellent. You know, he was sharp. He was letting his hands go. He was standing in the pocket more. He probably got hit just a little bit too much because he was trying to please everybody that's saying, oh, he can't do this, he can't do that. I talked to him and told him, just be yourself. You know, just keep winning. It doesn't matter what the naysayers say and what the people that's having certain agendas against him.
Crawford expressed strong confidence that Shakur Stevenson will leave no doubts about his abilities when his opportunity comes. He emphasized that Shakur's discipline, timing, and defensive instincts set him apart from other elite fighters. According to Crawford, once Shakur steps fully into the spotlight, fans will recognize his composure, precision, and ring control, and understand why many view him as one of the most well-rounded boxers in the sport today. Crawford also reflected on Shakur's past performances while making his case.
The Joshua card, so therefore we're not going to put a PBC fighter on it. Anyway, Gary Antoine, I mean, all these fights are good. Like, if Teofimo ends up losing to Shakur goes into this fix, and I do think Shakur will stay at 140 for a little bit. So, and you also have
I think he stays from now on. I don't think he goes back to 35.
Yeah, it's very rare we see these guys go down after they go up. You got to add in Shakur. You got to add in Pitbull Cruz. You got to add in Lamont Roach. There's some other good names on 140 as well. But yeah, I would say Smith presents something to this puzzle at 140 is that he's from England and he can sell over there. And if you're Hitchens, who's not the biggest ticket seller here in New York, and you want a unification, you think you can beat Dalton Smith, you might have to go overseas to do it, where you could make a lot more money. Gary Antoine Russell versus Smith stylistically is great. Shakur versus Dalton Smith is stylistically great. Shakur, it's just a fun division.
I don't want to see that.
What?
I don't want to see Shakur and Dalton.
I put that one at like 1% chance of ever happening.
I don't want to see that.
Even though, like, you don't think Smith presents like he's more of like would be the brawler in the Shakur scenario? I know he would be.
Yeah, that's the
Shakur
worst
would be
style to
wildly-
fight Shakur. It's the worst style. You have to counterpunch Shakur. Just like with De Los Santos. He was the guy who gave Shakur the most
Yeah, but
trouble.
Zepeda gave Shakur the best, most aesthetically pleasing fight, but not that Smith's going to throw 100 punches around.
Completely different style, though. Zepeda
Right.
and Dalton aren't. You can't compare them. That's apples and oranges. Yeah, no, I don't know.
But in terms of a guy coming forward.
But is Dalton really that guy?
Dan Kinobio and Chris Algieri analyzed a potential Teofimo Lopez versus Shakur Stevenson matchup from both a business and competitive standpoint. They noted that Matchroom control of the Joshua card makes a crossover with PBC unlikely. In their view, a loss for Teofimo would likely keep Shakur at 140 pounds rather than moving back down to 135, which is a rare move in today's game. They described the 140-pound division as stacked and entertaining, but pointed out that Shakur is least challenged by aggressive brawlers and would need skilled counterpunchers to truly test him, making certain fan-favorite fights less realistic despite the demand.
Shakur Stevenson is bigger than Teofimo Lopez, despite him moving up in weight and despite Teo being the champion. We got some action, and in this video I'm going to show and prove and break it down. I'll make it make sense in this video. You got to stay to the end. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Ego Weight Watchers, aka Ill, where I give you a look into the fighter's lifestyle before, after, progress pics, especially when they have an upcoming fight. I warned you, Shakur, I have no idea why he tried to play this game where when people got on his...
Analysts suggest that physical dimensions could be a major factor in a potential Shakur Stevenson versus Teofimo Lopez matchup. Shakur is a naturally larger fighter with a longer build, broader shoulders, and a stronger foundation. Even though Teofimo currently holds the title at the weight, Shakur's move to 140 pounds hasn't diminished his strength or command in the ring, and his body appears fully adjusted to the division. Observers emphasize that size isn't just about a number on the scale, but about leverage, balance, and how effectively a fighter uses their mass. Shakur's height, reach, and calm approach allow him to manage distance and dictate the pace, while Teofimo depends on sudden explosions and power shots that become harder to land cleanly against a bigger, more disciplined defender. If Shakur leverages his size to apply pressure, control space, and gradually break Teofimo down, the dynamic of the fight could change significantly.
But he couldn't beat a one-handed guy. And if you go back and watch that fight, like I'm saying, Shakur wasn't just running. Jermaine Ortiz really moved a lot on Teo. That never happened with Shakur Stevenson and fighting this guy. That never happened. So De Los Santos is De Los Santos. He got a reputation off of that. That boosted his reputation. I don't know why. He didn't do nothing to Shakur. He didn't wobble him, didn't hurt him, didn't do nothing. You know what I mean? And the man was one-handed. So, but shout out to De Los Santos. Like I say, I think he's more risk than reward. Actually, that'd be a great fight for Abdullah Mason in his first title defense. That'd be a great fight for him in his title defense. That'd be a good. They should use him for that
instead of Joe Cordina.
Yeah, Joe Cordina was rough too, though. I watched him against the kid from Fresno. What's the kid's name? I forget his name. They was pushing him, but he just ain't there. He took a lot of punishment. He probably need to go get a job. Gabriel Flores. Gabe Flores. Yeah, Gabe Flores. Yeah. He from Fresno, or he from Sacramento. He from the Bay Area.
Yeah, he just be training. Yeah, he be training.
Yeah. So I would say I would say that, you know what I mean? Because Abdullah Mason is the guy. I think he got a lot of potential. And like I said, him fighting a guy like De Los Santos is almost like a Bud fighting Gamboa in his first title defense. You know what I mean? So that would be a great fight for Abdullah Mason. You know what I mean? And he's more known than Joe Cordina. You know what I mean? And given the controversy that he's been in, you know what I'm saying? The way he's perceived as kind of feared, that'll be a great fight for Abdullah Mason.
Damn, my boy Bernie said that's like Gamboa versus Crawford for his first title defense. That shit is fire.
Bernie the boxer offers an in-depth look at why Shakur Stevenson stands out against Teofimo Lopez. He stresses that Stevenson is a fighter who should never be underestimated or taken lightly. Unlike many boxers who depend on sheer power or one-dimensional strategies, Shakur's style is versatile and well-rounded. He blends technical skill with strategic intelligence, making him unpredictable in the ring. Bernie notes that opponents often misread Shakur, mistaking his calm, controlled demeanor for a lack of aggression. In reality, Shakur's ability to adjust and read his opponent in real time allows him to capitalize on openings immediately. This mix of patience, timing, and technique gives him a distinct advantage, presenting fighters like Teofimo Lopez with an opponent who is not only highly skilled, but also disciplined in executing his strategy.
I got Shakur.
Are you saying that because that's your man and you don't like Tank?
No. Hey, like I said, I respect Tank. Boxing, he's one of the ones.
Yeah.
we gonna take his personality and personal things out of it. But boxing, he's definitely talented. You know what I mean? And he's definitely got that it. And he's definitely respected in boxing. But Shakur is a different fighter. You know, Shakur is different. You know, people may call him boring. People may say he can't punch. But they say the same thing about Floyd. Because they defensive.
Terence Crawford adds a personal and supportive perspective on Shakur Stevenson. He points out that while some fans might call Shakur boring, that label overlooks the depth of his talent. In the ring, Shakur's mastery is subtle but highly effective. He controls the pace, makes smart strategic decisions, and stays poised to exploit any mistake. Crawford stresses that true boxing enthusiasts can appreciate the brilliance in Shakur's technique, which goes beyond flashy moves or knockout power. It's his precise timing, defensive intelligence, and measured aggression that set him apart. Crawford is confident that anyone who underestimates Stevenson is missing the full scope of his skill.
Shakur Stevenson is going to get slower moving up in weight or not, where Teofimo can hit him. Maybe he was really fast at 130, 26-30, maybe 35, but 40, you put on a little bit more weight. Shakur Stevenson has a very strong style where he can sit back and pot shot you and box and stuff like that, where Teofimo can also box and is very athletic and can get from side to side and can make things difficult for you as well. So what style is going to impose on the other is what we want to see.
So which style will impose? Is it something where like the first rounds really will dictate, or?
I think you're going to need a couple of rounds, but the first round is going to be very interesting. Maybe you see some tails, but I think maybe 2 or 3 you're going to start seeing one leave the other. Because I don't think that, well, maybe, I mean, Shakur might show some different, if he has to go after Teofimo, he might show some different type of heart that we haven't seen or different type of fighting we haven't seen. And vice versa, you know, whereas Teofimo's hitting him with different shots off the angle that is kind of giving, you know, Shakur Stevenson trouble. We'll see about that.
Shane Mosley weighs in with an analysis centered on fighting styles and how they could shape the outcome. He explains that the decisive factor will be how each fighter's style plays out on fight night. Power, speed, and patience all matter, and the way these elements interact will likely determine who takes control. Mosley points out that Shakur's patient, methodical approach can neutralize raw aggression, while Teofimo's explosive power and timing pose a challenge even to disciplined opponents. Ultimately, the fight will hinge on how well each fighter can execute their strategy while adjusting to the other's strengths, making it a battle not just of skill, but of tactical intelligence.
Not to fight each other, there's probably not guys that know how they operate better. So if Teo is saying, I'm going to go out there and make you quit, essentially break you and stop you, that's something we haven't seen anyone get close to even hurting Shakur, really. Like the Zepeda fight, Zepeda hit him with the right hand and Shakur got wobbled, even though it was clearly Shakur's better performances because he dug down and bit down on his mouthpiece and said, I'm not just going to play the back foot and be slick and turn this into a very low output fight that I'll win because I'm just, he's better than Zepeda, but he went out there and dogged it out a little bit, and I respected him for it. I don't expect him to fight the same way versus Teofimo Lopez. I really don't. And I think people are looking at the Zepeda fight and going, yeah, that's Shakur we want. And I don't want to say he's going to disappoint people, but he will not fight that way with Teo. He won't. And Teo won't fight the same way William Zepeda did. They'll both be very measured. I think it'll be a very slow-paced, low-output fight. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. I could see maybe they go to war or something, but we're talking about styles making fights, and Teo's style, even if he's on his front foot, he doesn't commit to a lot of punches on the front foot, but he can fight that way. Shakur almost exclusively wants to go defense to offense versus leading the exchange. So I don't know. Not to say Shakur will be on the back foot the whole time. That's not necessarily how I see the fight going, but I don't know if this is going to be like a knockdown, drag him out type of thing. I think we're going to get a defensive, sweet science display from both guys, which, by the way, I think works in Shakur's favor.
You said on there that Terence Crawford sent one of his little guys to come after you, implying that obviously you want a fight event.
Boxing analyst Wade breaks down the matchup from perspective of preparation and strategy. He observes that both Teofimo Lopez and Shakur Stevenson have likely studied each other closely, given their similar trajectories through amateur and professional boxing. This familiarity means that in-ring adjustments and counters will be crucial. Wade highlights that both fighters possess the technical skills to execute sophisticated strategies, turning the fight into a kind of chess match where small adaptations and split-second decisions could ultimately determine the winner.
Martin. Some people thought he lost to Sandor Martin. Who else?
He did beat Loma, who's arguably at the time considered one of the best in the world.
He did, and that was a hell of a performance too. A hell of a performance too. So yeah, I mean, I think he's hit or miss. You got to think he got stuff. He a little cuckoo too. Like he has like a little mental lapses every once in a while. Look at the Kambosos fight. Like, that's a fight that people would never expect Kambosos to win, and he won a grueling match against him as well. So I just I don't know. I don't think he can get it done against Shakur when it comes to like because it's going to be just a skill match. I don't think he's going to try to rough Shakur.
That wraps up today's video. Stay tuned for more updates, and we'll see you next time.